Assalamu alaikum. So it feels like quite a weighty responsibility to take any of your time during a day like Aashura. And what I share today is not even a drop of knowledge that exists amongst the learned amongst us. So there are many more in this hall who have oceans of knowledge, and this is not even an iota of a drop. And I'm hoping you can gain something from this, just as I have. And maybe somebody else can take this position and share their own reflections. And so today the intention of the talk is to prepare your hearts and minds of the Shahadat Bayan to come. Because it all culminates today, now, Aashura, the 10th of Moharram. And as Murasab recited in the dua after Zuhr, it's a significant day for many reasons. It's the day when Adam alayhi salam's repentance was accepted. It's the day when Nuh alayhi salam's ark reached safety. It's the day when Ibrahim alayhi salam was saved from the fire. It's the day Musa alayhi salam liberated his people. It's the day Ayub alayhi salam was cured of his illness. It's the day Dawud alayhi salam's sin was forgiven. It's the day Sulaiman alayhi salam was given his kingdom. It's the day Yusuf alayhi salam came out of the well in which he was thrown. It's the day Yusuf and Yaqub were reunited. It is the day Isa alayhi salam was born. It's the day Isa alayhi salam was raised back up again and ascended the heavens. And it is the day today that Imam Hussein alayhi salam on the plains of Karbala was martyred. And I wish to take you to the plains of Karbala. I would like people to form a picture in their mind. Take a few deep breaths. Concentrate. If you wish to, close your eyes. Imagine for a moment, this is Aashura in Karbala. Imagine for a moment you are in your tent with your Imam Hussein alayhi salam. You are with men, women and children. You are gathered in the presence of the Ahlul Bayt, the house of the Prophet. You're in a hot, barren, dry desert. Imagine that the spirit and soul of Maulana Ali alayhi salam and Fatima Zahra alayhi salam is present with you right now. Imagine that you will be going to your death, that you are numbered 72, and the opposition outside of this very wall numbers 30,000. Today, all of your men will die. Some of your children will die. Your woman will be taken captive. Know that there is no other end result. Know that you can stop this. You can walk out. Your Imam, Hussein alayhi salam, can simply and peacefully sign his allegiance to Yazid, who stands outside. Yazid, a man who embodies evil and everything against what Islam represents. Worse still, he uses a banner of Islam itself. We must ask ourselves now, have we truly earned the right to be in the presence of our Imam Hussein alayhi salam? Have we pursued excellence morally, spiritually, physically, vocationally? Is today simply a day we remember, then consign it to the memory until next year? Or do we today make a change in our hearts to lean towards good? To act upon what we come to remember for? Ask yourself, as I ask myself, why are you here? Are we simply here to listen to a story and remember just because that's what everybody does on Aashura? Or are you here to develop a relationship with your Imam and Allah? Are we ready to do then what our Imam Hussein alayhi salam has ordered us to do? To enjoin good, to prohibit evil, to strive for truths and what is right, to uphold what Allah had revealed to us through His grandfather, Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Let us ask ourselves then whether we have the right to be here. If we have in the past not earned this right, then let us earn it today. We may not have another chance. On this day, one cannot help but remember those of our friends and family who once witnessed their last Aashura in this very space. Just like how we cannot return into the wombs of our mothers after birth, and just like we cannot return into the earth after this death, we cannot return in time. So ask ourselves, could this be our last Aashura? So let us earn our right to be in the presence of the Imam and his holy family. These days of Moharram, we have tragic realities. History acknowledges and it understands. Today, our Imam Hussein alayhi salam dies a shaheed. Today is important for us to reflect upon. We must know this history in ways by which their teachings can be guiding principles for us all. We should never forget those who are killed today, because they were Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam's family. Let us remember what the Nabi's relationship with his grandsons was. Our Nabi recited adhan into the ear of Hussein. Our Nabi named him Hussein. He performed his akikah. Our Nabi prayed for Hussein. Our Nabi stayed in sujud for so long just because Hassan and Hussein were on his back, and this by divine instruction too. Muhammad Rasulullah says that there will be leaders of the youth of paradise. So let's just reflect on that for a moment. So if we get to paradise, Allah creates us to a more youthful form. And so they will be leaders of us all too, if we reach this eternal resting place. They will continue to be our Imams in this life and in the hereafter. Nabi Muhammad said, I am from Hussein and Hussein is from me. Allah loves whoever loves Hussein. The love that our Nabi had for his grandchildren is enough for us to remember. Nabi Muhammad knew this was going to happen. Jibreel had told him that Hussein will die. Nabi Muhammad replied to Jibreel and asked, they will kill him, my own grandson, whilst they believe in me? Jibreel said, yes, they will kill him whilst believing in you, O Muhammad. Jibreel then brought forth the soil of Karbala and presented it to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He wept. He informed Ali that Hussein alayhi salam will be killed on the banks of the Euphrates River. When he stands at this place, there will be enemies who dare to harm Muhammad's grandchild. So this is what the height of evil can do. To corrupt a heart so badly that it allows a man with free will to kill Imam Hussein alayhi salam. To understand the relevance of the tragedy of Karbala to the new beginnings of Moharram, we can look and focus upon the horrific tyranny of those who massacred the family of the Nabi of Allah. We can look at Imam Hussein alayhi salam, who at the very end upheld his values and did not compromise in any way. We can look at the brave, inspirational men, women and children around him and use their examples as beacons of light in our own lives. Let us learn a few lessons based on these brave souls whose shahadat we will hear soon. Firstly, it's never too late to do the right thing. Hur alayhi salam was a commander of the battalions of Yazid's army. Hur was single-handedly responsible for stopping Hussein and redirecting him towards Karbala. On the eve of battle Hur began to pace in his tent, as the reality of what he was about to do was about to sink in. His conscience would not allow him to fight on the side of Yazid and kill those who did no wrong. Hur crossed the front line and joined Hussein, knowing he would die. The other key thing here is that Hussein allows him to join his side, accepting his repentance. He will die today, but he will die a death of honor on the side of truth. What do we learn from Hur? We learn that we must also listen to our conscience. It very rarely fails us. Our conscience, which comes from our inner fitrat, our inner disposition, the fitrat which is very light from the very spirit that Allah had breathed into our soul. That there is never too late to change our ways and to do good and reconcile. We should all look at ourselves, examine what is in our lives, and consider what is good for us and what is bad. To use Hur's example to reconcile with those family and friends whom you may have separated with for whatever reason. To use this day to resolve these disputes, no matter how small or large. Remove the ego from you, and perhaps we will also have a chance to experience on some level the enlightenment that Hur experienced. But disputes are a two-way dialogue, and Imam Hussein alayhi salam, who was directed to death by Hur, forgave him. We do this at the end of the day today. After Shahadat and Bayan, we'll go around and we'll say, Boilu chailu maaf. Whatever I've said, please forgive me. I suppose we should all do it today, privately otherwise, because tomorrow it might be too late. In Habib ibn Mazahir, we learn that age cannot mean you cannot stand up for your values. In Ali Akbar, we learn our firm conviction in the eternal world is our ultimate destination. He was young. He could give up his relatively short life for a greater purpose. In the women and children of the camp, this show of sacrifice is not necessarily physical. How must it feel to witness and consent for what had happened? How must it feel for a mother to give consent for her children to be sacrificed for Islam? What level of devotion is this? In Aashura and Karbala, we have a living embodiment of Surah Al-Asr. The surah tells us that man is always in a state of loss, except those who have believed and done righteous deeds and advised each other to truth and advised each other to patience. In Hussein alayhi salam, we learn about a man who was shaheed. A shaheed not just because he was killed, but a shaheed as per the actual meaning of the word. A shaheed is given the title of the one who witnesses. The one who witnesses to the fact that there is something bigger than this world to which we are striving for. There is something bigger than the distractions of the dunya. Something that they orientate their values towards. Something that they are guiding principles. Something that is of their sense of ethics. We can also learn a great deal about this faith in Allah's divine decree. At the moment, he is in sujood before he is martyred. Jibreel presents to him to ask what Hussein had wanted. Our Imam Hussein alayhi salam had the power in this moment to request that the entire army of Yazid be annihilated using Allah's divine help. However, Hussein alayhi salam did not seek retribution or revenge. His purpose, even at this point, was greater than the will of his own self. His reply to Jibreel was, "What is Allah's decree?" Jibreel's reply was that Allah had decreed Hussein to return back to him. There's much to learn from this. We can learn whatever affliction, trial, hardship affects us in life. It is a part of a greater plan by Allah to help us attain our own salvation. Through the grief of Karbala, we are shown Allah's decree. This decree had saved Islam and showed us the straight path, the Sirat al-Mustaqim, and a shining example. So in the physical world, this is a horrific tragedy. But in a spiritual sense, it was the ultimate opportunity to show love of Allah and for Him to lead us to a path for us. the act of prostration itself, the sajda that Imam Hussein engaged in, after all the trial he has faced over the last few days, shows that he had gratitude in what Allah had given him, in the favour that Allah had bestowed on him. I wonder, if Imam Hussein alayhi salam shows the gratitude in such a moment when his entire family has been mercilessly killed, if Imam Hussein can show gratitude when he is tired and when he's not drunk water from the parching deserts of Karbala, if he can show gratitude in the face of such trial, who are we then to show ingratitude to the multitude of blessings Allah has given us? Gratitude perhaps is the foundation of our salvation. If we are grateful for every iota of our existence, then we can develop the patience to tolerate any hardship. We, us, this community in this hall, have every reason to show gratitude. We have food to eat, water to drink, family and friends to share our life with, a community who can celebrate with us in our times of joy, and a community which can grieve with us at times of difficulty. We are not oppressed. We have freedom to think, be, exercise our God-given right of intellect in any lawful and rightful way we are able to. And so, with such a blessing as a community comes responsibility. The responsibility to pursue the right and forbid the wrong, help ourselves, our families, our community, humanity, and pursue excellence in everything that we do. So after all of this, ask yourself, what can we do to fight injustice in this world? We cannot do anything if we don't know what our values are. We cannot do anything if we don't know what guides us in life. So, we should be present in today's majlis. Be present to learn who we are, what our values are, who our Imam is, who our Amirul Mu'mineen is, what our heritage is, to learn what the truth is, that they, the Ahlul Bayt, were able to move forward in the face of such atrocity and still say the next world is more important than this one. That is the dominion of Allah, and His will is greater than all that we perceive. Because ultimately in the end we come from Allah, and to Him will be our return. And that with the wasila of Imam Hussein alayhi salam today, our feet will be kept on the Sirat al-Mustaqim. Amin.